So hello and welcome back yet again to another exciting episode of Exploring Azeroth with Beryl. I'm going to sound a little bit rough today. I seem to have caught some sort of a cold or flu. It's not the dread plague. It's not the corona. It's just one of those fun little summer colds, but I look like absolute garbage, so we are not putting me on screen today. Um, Today we are going to be leaving the Eastern Plaguelands and heading into the Western Plaguelands with Beryl. We're going to do a big loop-de-loop. There's actually a couple of houses here in the Western Plaguelands, which I'm excited to share with you, and a few fun little hidden nooks and crannies, and maybe some quest lines that you weren't aware of. And yeah, then we'll end it at another dungeon that we will run through next week. It's a really fun dungeon, so I'm kind of excited about that one. But with all of that being said and done, let's just go ahead and jump on in to the Western Plaguelands. Alright, as you can see, we are still technically in the Eastern Plaguelands, but right through those gates are the Western Plaguelands. Um, Let me pull up a map here. Now, if you see, it's just sort of a big old circle. I feel like most things in World of Warcraft end up being a big old circle. So that's kind of how we're going to do it. We're going to go up and explore all of these little nooks and crannies up here, then loop on around, and we will end at this dungeon right here of Sholomance. So, let's just get to. Now, one thing that's a little bit of fun in the Western Plaguelands is even though you can see that there are a bunch of cultists and undead and they're doing some nasty stuff, the land itself looks a little bit healthier than the land in the Eastern Plaguelands, and that is because the druids of the Cenarion Circle have been working really hard to heal the land. Now, I'm not sure how many people go into this cave, but there is a quest chain that will bring you to this fun little hidden cave down here. It's the Weeping Cave, and it's a lot of, I don't know, just kind of fun. You know, you've got your rippers and your big old stitched together brutes who obviously want to eat you, but you know, no big deal. But yeah, your slimes, and if you go down here, you can see that at the end of it all, they're actually all being controlled by a bunch of cultists that are down here. And we will sneak up and see what they are doing. There's also a decent number of rares here, like this one. And rares are kind of fun because if you kill them, you can usually get a piece of good gear. Especially if you're doing this at level. Like this is a nice little cloak that you can get. And they're kind of a nifty thing to keep an eye out for. Also, if you happen to be playing a hunter, a lot, not all, but a lot of the rares are tameable. And it's a really good way to get some really cool hunter pets. I think one of my favorite hunter pets that I have that isn't technically, well, no, he is a rare. Um, he's a big two-headed Cerberus, and he is very, very cute. And he is a rare that is out in the, what are they called? My brain is so fuzzy today. The Draenei starting area. And he's called the Kirkin, and he's very cute. But yeah, as you can see, these cultists are down here, and they are doing some nefarious things. Also, there's a treasure chest down here, and since Beryl is a rogue, we can go ahead and open it. Nice. What did we get here? See, if she were a lower level, that would be a really awesome thing. It's the pads of the venom spider. But what I really wanted to show you is you can see that they're kind of just stitching together all sorts of abominations down here, and they are definitely keeping, oh, they are keeping some nasty stuff in these vats. that's a little bit disgusting. No, go. Oh, it's both gross and glorious. You definitely want to reanimate him for a party, don't you? But yeah, you can just come down here. There's a quest chain that has you doing all sorts of things, fighting these cultists and fighting their creations and all sorts of stuff like that. So then we're going to go ahead and head out of here. I do remember when you're doing this at level, it's not nearly as easy as Beryl's making it look, just sort of running out of here. Also, still to this day, I am so terrible in these caves. I get lost really, really easily, so I'm going to get myself out of this cave and I'll rejoin you on the outside. Alright, we have made it out of the cave. Huzzah! Not that I was really all that worried, but yeah, now we are going to move on to our next little area of interest, which is going to be Garens Withering. It's, just another contested zone, another contested area where there's a lot of bad stuff going down and several quests that you can deal with. But first we're going to run over here and see. Sometimes there is a rare that will show up over here that only drops loot for you if you happen to be a paladin, because it is part of the paladin class hall quest, and it's to help you get your amazing paladin weapon, the Ashbringer. It's a really cool sword. I discovered, much to my sorrow, that killing that rare, which is still actually a decent fight even for Beryl, gives you nothing if you aren't a paladin. But yeah, originally, back before everything got messed up and the plague came to the Western Plaguelands, this was sort of the grain basket of Azeroth, or at least the Eastern Kingdoms. But it was also the place where the Scourge decided that it would be the best place to spread its infected grain and take out the population. So one of the places that they did this was in Garens Withering. They set up big plague pots up here. You can see it right there. And they just spread their poison all through the area and either killed the residents or turned them into undead. It was pretty nasty, but thankfully things are improving here in the Western Plaguelands, but they still have a long way to go. But we can run in here and take a look at this ruined house. Got a few wraiths that want to take us out, but yeah, you can see this was a very nice house, and it's sort of definitely the human style of house. You know, you've got a nice upstairs with bedroom upstairs and another treasure chest. I am just finding treasure chests left, right, and sideways today. That's kind of awesome. Oh, that's nice too. That's a crossbow. Pretty spiffy. I will definitely drop that into my guild bank and see if any of my guild mates, which are mostly just me, can use any of that for a different appearance. But yeah, this is just your typical little Eastern Kingdoms human-style farm. Very nice. Would be a fantastic house if it wasn't in ruins, but that's okay. There are more houses in this area that aren't in ruins. And, yeah, I actually found a couple of them. Alright, our next area that we are going to is the Writhing Haunt. Again, you can tell by the name, it's another kind of icky nasty place, but that's okay. Also, there are so many big spiders in the Western Plaguelands, and actually all over the Eastern Kingdoms. I don't have a fear of spiders myself, per se, but if they were bigger than me, I think I probably would. I definitely think they're kind of funny. World of Warcraft makes their creatures very big and very creepy. But yeah, let's see here. Now, that island across the way there is where the Dungeon of Sholomance is, and that will be our last stop. We're going to do the rest of the Western Plaguelands first, but Sholomance is a really neat dungeon with a lot of lore that goes with it that I will probably butcher. But here we are at the Writhing Haunt, which, you know, you've got this big ol' abomination who actually can just talk to us. Let's see what he has to say.
Us hear and obey.
Says Gory not very good at planting, but Gory is very good at reaping. It's really weird to see a abomination that is not hostile to the Alliance side. Not sure what's up with that. Alright, but here we have a very cute little house. Not really... Still, it doesn't count as my version of a house because, again, you can't sit in the chairs and you don't have a bed. But you could still use it if you wanted to say, hey, this is my farm that I am bringing back from the brink of destruction. But now we're going to go and check out the druids who are at the Menders Stead, and they are doing their very best to heal the Western Plaguelands and make them not quite Plaguelands anymore. Nice little tent there. Oh, hey, there's a bed in the tent. That's kind of cute. Somehow I don't think that that is where the abomination sleeps. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Also, let's mount up, because I feel like I am just moving far too slow here. But yeah, we go up here, and we go to the Menders Stead, which is where all of the druids are doing their best. And there's a fantastically fun quest chain that you can go on with these guys, where you are going to help a very hopeless druid in training. This guy here is Zinkiki.
Talk to me.
And you're going to help him learn to be the best druid that he can be. Only he's not really all that good at it,
Lita.
So it's kind of sad. Pretty much everything he does just messes up till maybe the very, very end when he gets a little bit better. Now, this is the first of the houses that is actually an official, really cute house that if you wanted to say was your house, if you were in World of Warcraft, maybe you were an RPer and you wanted to maybe have a druid who was here helping them to heal the Western Plaguelands. You've got this gorgeous orchard, beautiful arbor area over here. Now, I do say gorgeous orchard, but you do have to watch out. There are some things that are a little bit on the iffy side in this orchard. There's some bad corn that turns into a monster. There's some apples that turn into monsters, but hey, what you gonna do? But yeah, this is a very cute little house. I can't remember if it has a bed or not, but it does have a dog house. So you could even have your little dog staying with you. But it's just a very cute little farmhouse. No bed. Oh well. It also has that really cute loft area. Does the loft have a bed? No, it doesn't look like it does. But, you know, your imagination can provide the bed, because other than the fact that there's no bed here, this does make a fantastic little place to say that you're just, you know, a farmer out here in the Western Plaguelands. I like it. But yeah, that was the one thing I wanted to show you, and also to point out Zinkiki, who is hilarious. He is a druid who gives me all sorts of giggles when I do that quest chain. Alright, before we go down to Anderhall and the other farms, we are going to head up here past the Dawson's farm, which is what this was called, and head up to the Red Pine Lumber Mill, which has a really fun quest chain that's attached to it, where you get to herd spiders. And then we're going to head up to the little town of Hearthglen, where there are all sorts of training things going on, and a very, very rotten person up at the top of it that you kind of have to take out. But yeah, these spiders you get to herd. It's kind of a hilarious quest chain that is a lot of fun, but it's just a nice little quest chain that's over here. You get to ride one of these fun little Hearthglen Mustangs, and they are a very fast mount. They're also really cute horses. You gotta love them. They all look the same, which is kind of sad, but they're still pretty cool. But yeah, there's a fun little quest chain here where you're just helping the Hearthglen recruits. And then you can go up here past the Northridge Lumber Mill to the town, it's kind of a town anyway, of Hearthglen. Along the way, there are a few quests to be done here in Talion's Tower, and probably a few rares to be killed, but they definitely have a gnoll problem in this area, and yeah, you kind of have to help them with that. And then you come up here to the town of Hearthglen, which I did find out actually just yesterday, because I had never poked into all of these buildings in this town, that there is a proper house here, which is very exciting. There's also a quest chain that you end up doing down in this mine, where you have to kind of help them clean out these mines, because as you can see, everybody is terrified. One thing that I really do like about the druids and the Cenarion Circle, and even the area here in Hearthglen, is it's one of the areas in World of Warcraft where the Horde and the Alliance are working together. Like, it does not matter to them if you're an orc
What do you want?
or if you're a night elf.
Ishnu Allah.
They're gonna
Goddess,
train
watch over
everybody. And it's kind of nice. You don't see a lot of that, but you do see a lot of that in the druids and things. But yeah, this is a house that I actually found that I did not know about. And it's a very cute house. You've got the little bedroom down here, and this is where you can kind of see how the human houses are meant to be laid out. I kind of imagine that this is a family's house, because you can look here and see that there's definitely some toys and balls and small clothes, so this is probably where a couple of kids sleep. Then you go over here and you've got just the big main room where you can pop a seat, you know, sit down, rest, look at the pretty pictures, and then you can go upstairs to what is obviously the library of the house, and the parents' room with fire in the fireplace and a very nice, can we get on the bed? Ah, yes we can. Very nice little canopy bed up in here. But yeah, I don't know why I never had noticed that house before, but I hadn't. So now that I've found it, I am sharing it with you. But yeah, there's a lot to be done in Hearthglen. There's a whole bunch of quest chains that kind of culminate with you having to fight Magus Bisp,
Light be with you.
who you would think is a decent human being, but he's really, really, really not. He's kind of the
Go with
main bad
honor,
guy, and you have to take him out. It's a fun quest chain, though. So yeah, now we are going to move on and go to the Feldstone Fields and the Bulwark. Then we're going to stop at Anderhall and the Chillwind Camp, pay our respects at Uther's Tomb and Sorrow Hill, the graveyard, and then that'll probably be about it. So I'm going to spare you my babbling, and I will meet you at our next destination. So I feel really, really dumb, and I can't remember if I actually went through all of this before or if I hit pause very stupidly at some point, but I guess we're just going to do this all again, and I'm going to hope that I didn't do it once already. This area is Anderhall. It is one of the areas that the Horde and Alliance are still kind of contesting over. It tells the tragic story of Thracian, who is a Death Knight, And he is right now being forced to fight against his good friend and fellow Death Knight. Let me see if I can find him here. He is right over here somewhere. Thracian, I think his name is, but I am not finding him. Ah, he's over here in the Horde area. Hopefully we won't get attacked by coming over here. But yeah, they were friends, and now they are forced to fight against each other. And it's kind of sad, especially when they should be working together to fight the undead. But that is always the tragic tale of World of Warcraft. Um, Yeah, I feel really dumb. I had this on pause and I went through the entire spiel that I had, and now I am all flustered because I don't know what I actually did, but that's okay. I think we already went through this, but in case I didn't, this is another really cool little farm that if you're an Alliance player, you could claim as your own. It's a very nice working farm that is filled with all of these awesome laborers and all of this nice little house that you've got here. You've got a nice table downstairs, a storage area instead of a kid's room, more laborers, and 3 beds, and this creepy dude. He's a little bit creepy. He looks very, very serious, but obviously he's there to guard you in your sleep. Yeah, we'll go with that. So yeah, I can't remember if I was on pause when I came through here last time or not, so I'm just going to assume that I was, and we will move on, and I will show you the Chillwind camp, which is, well, actually first we're going to run by the Bulwark, which is the Horde's intro to the Western Plaguelands area. It's kind of the area that you go to and they'll send you out and get you started in this zone. Now, it's also the Midsummer Fire Festival right now, and if I wanted to be terrible, I could go and douse their bonfire, but I'm not really in the mood to be terrible right now. Plus, it looks like somebody's already doused their bonfire a lot. But yeah, it's just one of the various holidays inside of World of Warcraft. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good way if you need to level a character to get a lot of free experience. Now we're going to go past Anderhall and go to the Chillwind camp, which tends to be the Alliance side's introduction to the Western Plaguelands area. And like I said, it's a good spot to pick up the quests and get yourself all set. Now you can see that there is also a Alliance side bonfire, and if I wanted to, I could do that, but I am not doing that right now. I'm just showing you this. As you can see, Beryl hasn't actually done the Western Plaguelands because I was trying to have her be a peaceful character when I first started leveling her, like Bellario, the druid that I started on live last week. And if you're interested, watch Bellario's adventures. I'm going to be playing her live every other week, and we're going to see if I can make it all the way to max level without killing anything. That's a lot harder than it sounds, but I tried doing it with Beryl, and I think I got her up to about level 40, and then I accidentally killed something, and then just sort of gave up on the whole Path of Peace thing, and she became fairly adept killer. Alright, now we are over here at Sorrow Hill, which is a just giant grave site, crypt. One interesting character that you run into out here is Marlene Redpath. She is the mother of little Pamela Redpath, which I don't know if you remember, but she was over in the Eastern Plaguelands. She was a little girl who died way back when the Scourge invaded, and she doesn't know she's dead. I don't think Marlene knows that she's dead either, but it is what it is. I'm pretty sure that there is a quest to help her find peace. Now, as you go along up here, you can go to the grave, which is very well tended, of Uther Lightbringer. He is the paladin who was betrayed by Arthas, and I think he died of a broken heart, but don't quote me on that. I kind of feel guilty. I haven't really been. I haven't done anything in the new expansion, and I say new expansion even though it's like 2 years old now. It just. I don't know. I'll get around to it eventually, but it just wasn't my vibe. It wasn't what I was into, so I haven't dipped my toe into it, but I do know that Uther has a very, very pivotal role in it, and I'll get around to it eventually. I am looking forward to the Dragonlands expansion, which is the next one. I think that one seems a lot more kind of my thing, so I'm hoping that I will get back into actually playing the new expansion when it drops. But yeah, let's read the plaque here by the statue of Uther. It says, "Here lies Uther, the Lightbringer, first paladin, founder of the Order of the Silver Hand. Uther lived and died to defend the kingdom of Lordaeron. Though he was betrayed by his most beloved student, we believe that his spirit lives on. He continues to watch over us even as the shadows close in around our ruined land. His light is the light of all humanity, and so long as we honor his example, it shall never fade." So yeah, there is a lot in the Shadowlands expansion that has to do with Uther, but I couldn't tell you what any of it is because I haven't actually played the expansion yet. I own it, I don't know, every time I go to start playing it, I just don't want to. It's, I don't know. The whole undead thing has never been my vibe. There's one other crypt here, but it is not nearly as well taken care of as Uther's crypt, and that is just this sort of ruined, abandoned crypt, the Sorrow Hill crypt. And a lot of times at the bottom of it, there will be a rare spawn that you can kill to get some pretty cool equipment. Alright, the last thing we are going to do is run over and check out the little town of Cerdero. It is at the base of Sholomance, and Sholomance is the dungeon that we will be running through next week. It is a really, really cool dungeon, honestly. It's got a lot of lore to it. It's the Bartov family estate, and the Bartovs were a very rich, noble family. And when the Scourge came through, I think a couple of them actually teamed up with the Scourge. So it was really interesting, and I'm going to plug Noble87 again because he has got several videos on the Bartovs and on Sholomance that will do it way more justice than I ever could. But we're going to run up here. Another thing that you might be interested in before we get up to the dungeon entrance is this ghost dwarf over here actually sells a lot of recipes for different um, crafts that you can do as a World of Warcraft player. He's got plans for blacksmiths and a few other things like that, and this is where I am going to leave you for this week. I hope you enjoyed this tour of the Western Plaguelands. If there's anything that I missed, please let me know. If there is anything that you would like to see in the future, also let me know. Leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and I will see you next week when we run through the Dungeon of Sholomance. Until then, though, have a great day.